1 minute, you guys.
Sam, you're welcome to come too. Yes.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming. First of all, I'd like to welcome you to the official launch of the 2019 Vancouver Police Dog Calendars. My name is Sergeant Jason Roblard. I'm a media relations officer with the Vancouver Police Department. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge some of our special guests here today: Superintendent Steve Ely, Superintendent Marcy Flamon, Inspector Jim McCardle, VPD K-9 Unit, Constable Warren Butterman, and PSD Hawk, VPD K-9 Unit Calendar Project Coordinator, Sergeant Rich Lee, PSD Vader. And we have representatives here from the Vancouver Police Foundation and other members of the VPD K-9 Unit. We have one more dog available for a photo op after the event. I'd also ask if you have any questions unrelated to today's announcement, if you could save them, and I'll be available for those questions after the announcement. We have two speakers here today. First is going to be Deputy Chief Constable Howard Chow, and next we'll have Constable Brian LeCain from the VPD K-9 Unit. Thank you. Deputy.
Thanks, Jason. I'll grab that piece of paper if you got it. So you know why we're here. We've got 16 police dogs. It makes us one of the largest municipal dog squads in North America, and they're an invaluable resource for us. We capture about 500 suspects a year that are committing crimes that we would otherwise not be able to capture if we didn't have the resources of the police dog handling team that you see before us. So some of the things they do, just imagine late at night your car gets broken into and the suspect takes off running. A neighbor calls it in. We'll send a dog handler team out there, and that team will be able to track where that suspect ran and do an apprehension that way. Or just, again, imagine a warehouse, 3 o'clock in the morning down in the South Slope gets broken into. There's an alarm, and we end up going on scene. So it may take hours for a team of police officers to go in there and search that large warehouse. And when they're done, they may not be absolutely certain that there's not somebody hiding secreted in some spot that the officers missed. Whereas we can bring in a handler team and they would be able to search and in a matter of minutes be able to tell you if there's anybody left inside that building or not. The dogs are also an excellent resource for when somebody goes, commits a crime and throws an item or a piece of evidence in a field. So if somebody goes, robs a bank, and when they're running out of the bank and they cross into a field and they throw a handgun or a knife into the field and they take off running, we can bring a dog handling team out there as well, same sort of thing, and they can go and search that field and find that piece of evidence. So these captures that these dogs do are really what keeps our city safe, ends up dealing with the crime issues that we're having to deal with in terms of property crime as well as the violent crimes that take place. The dog calendars, I mean, they're a hot commodity. Every year we sell out of these things, and we've been doing this since 2010. They've raised over $200,000 for two different charities right from the very start. The charities are the BC Vancouver Cancer Foundation as well as Children's Hospital Foundation. Last year, 2018 calendar, they raised $32,000. And what makes this very unique relative to other charities that are out there is that there's no administrative costs that go to this. So what we do, there's not-for-profit members from the dog squad. They invest all their time, their volunteer work, and they put these calendars together, and they go out there and they sell them for, to raise money for these charities. So with us today, as you know, we've got Vader as well as Hawk. You're going to see Walker later on. And I just want to talk real quickly about how this calendar started out. Was in 2010, Sergeant Mike Anfield, he's retired now, he was a police dog trainer. He lost his wife to cancer, and she was also a Vancouver police officer, Candy Anfield. And he wanted a way that he could remember in terms of what she's done, and so he started this calendar, and this is the legacy that he's left for us. So I'm going to turn it over to Brian LeCain, who's going to tell you some of the details about where you can get it.
Thank you, sir. My name is Constable Brian LeCain, and I work with Police Service Dog Bailey. She's not here today. The 2019 calendar was a bit different than past years. We were very fortunate to work with 4 different professional photographers. There was a production company that we teamed up with called Lisa Callback in Callback Productions. Works with these 4 photographers on a regular basis. We approached her. She approached these photographers, who all came to the program with their own version of how they wanted to kind of portray what we do with our dogs and what we do for the city. So as you can tell probably from some of the pictures, and when you do pick a calendar up, the pictures include dog handlers in some of them. We wanted to show that relationship, that there's quite a bond between us and our furry animals, of course, or our furry partners. So we think that's important to showcase. Other agencies have done it. We decided to do it. It's pretty important. It's pretty fun. Some of the images are sort of tongue-in-cheek in terms of how they show us and our working relationship. The 4 photographers we used were Adam and Kev Photography, and they used a set designer, Aaron Bishop of Philosophy Events. Then there was a Nick Violet Photography, Christopher Morrison Photography, and Jens Christian Ballet Photography. They all donated their time and their resources free of charge to the department and to our program. We are also fortunate enough to use Cake Imagery to do all the editing and retouching for us, to be able to produce the images that we have before us today. We're also lucky to be able to complete one of the concepts that Adam and Kev Photography came forward with. We used a Instagram star. He's got 280,000 Instagram followers. Some of you might know Mr. Bentley. He's a little bulldog, so you'll have to grab a calendar and check out January for his involvement. It's pretty cool. The other part of the calendar that's important is we always feature a story of a young child that's somehow connected to the Vancouver Police. This year we're using the story of Noah, who's the son of a police officer. He's 3 years old now, but when he was born at 28 weeks, he was labeled a micro-preemie. And what that means is he was only 1.2 pounds. As you can imagine, that is a very difficult situation to be in when you're a young child. But he used the resources of BC Women's and BC Children's Hospital to be able to kind of persevere and overcome his very many challenges. He's undergone 12 procedures since he's been born, and he continues to go to the hospital and get help to this day. So you'll read about his story on the very front page. For a 3-year-old boy, some of us go through minor surgeries and we think it's the end of it, but this little guy, he's 3 and he's persevered through so much. So it's pretty cool story to read. In terms of where you can get the calendars, they're at the headquarters here at 2120 Cambie. They're at the Gravely Street headquarters as well at the front pick counter. The PMBA store in the lobby of the Gravely store has it as well. West Coast Veterinary Dental Clinic has the calendars for sale. The T-Sol store at Main Street, Arbutus Street, and Grandview Highway have them, as well as you can get them online at the Vancouver Police Foundation website, which is vancouverpolicefoundation.org/canine calendars. You can also go to the Vancouver Police Dog Calendar Facebook page. That'll have a link to get you to the online sales. All the community police offices around the city also have the calendars for sale, and we did produce more calendars this year than last year because we're really hoping to raise as much money as we can for the sake of the kids and for the sake of the various cancer foundations. So appreciate you letting me talk today, and hopefully we sell out.
Thank you.
We're just going to say, there's a great sense of humor in some of these pictures. It must have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of, it was. In past years, we've had some amazing photography and some amazing work from our previous contributors. This year, having the different photographers, each one has their own little style, and so there's some that have the headshots, there's some that have the team, and it was sort of, although we have a very hard and demanding job at times, there's still a lot of fun we have with our dogs. We get to roll around the grass and play with them and throw a ball, and so to sort of show that in the pictures that, although our job is is very demanding and very hard at times, we still get to hang out with our dogs and have an amazing connection with them. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you all for coming. There's some photo opportunities available here if you'd like. And if you have any other questions unrelated to today's calendar, I'm available here as well. So I'd like to thank you all again for coming.